Hello, welcome to the sixth unit. Welcome to the sixth unit. So I am here dealing right now, with the unit number, the session number ninth. So here in the sessions, we will be discussing about the tables that is available for the calculation purpose. So that one we will be studying here. So here, after the completion of this course, the students will be able to understand the basic concepts of the acceptance sampling. So in the last class, we have studied something about in the previous class, we have discussed about the double sampling plan, the advantages of the double sampling plan, and the problems on the double sampling plan, and the difference between the single sampling plan and the double sampling plan, and the DSP curve, like that is called as the OC curve for the double sampling plan. And then we have discussed something about the sequential sampling plan. So these are the few points that we have discussed in the session 8. So this is the session ninth one. So here we will be discussing something about the tables that is used in the for the calculations. So these tables are called as the statistical tables. So when you go to the statistical table, so the first table that you will get, it is the table that is used for the normal distribution curve. You can see here. So this curve is a normal distribution curve. It is bell-shaped curve. The area under this curve, it covers, it is 100%, or I can say that the area under this curve is equals to 1. So here, so when the area under this curve is equals to 1, suppose saying here at the center of the curve, we are calling the center of the curve as the mean and the standard deviations. So when you go towards the left side of the center line, when you go towards the left side of the center line, so all the values, whatever the values you will get, it is in terms of the minus sign. So that is after calculating with this formula. Suppose suppose here xi is the value here. So this value is the xi. So this will not be a negative value, that will be the positive value. And x bar will be this value. So this x bar will be again the positive value. So when you put this, when you subtract xi minus x bar, because here in this diagram xi will be less than the x bar. So here, so this is the mean value. So towards the left side if you go, so this xi will be reducing, and towards the right side if you go, so the value of xi will be increasing. So now when you put the value of this xi and the x bar and the standard deviation, and you will get the value of zi. So that value of zi you need to find out from this table. See here, whatever the value you will get from the zy, so sorry, the zi, so zi is this value. So that is xi minus x bar by the standard deviation. Here in this table, this zi will start from minus 3.5, and 3.4, 3.3, it will go on, decreases, it will decreases, but till it will decreases, you can see here, till it will decreases to 0, minus value, but it is 0. So minus value and the 0 will be there, you can see at the bottom. So then it will increase now from plus, here it is 0, now it is plus value. So it will go till the 3.5, plus 3.5, you can see at the bottom of this column, you can see plus 3.5. So 3.5. So now say here, once again I'll go to the top to these things. Say minus 3.5, minus, say I got the value zi is equals to, say, minus 3.5. So it is minus 3.5, but I can't take this value, that is 0.0017. Neither I can take this 0.0017. So I need to take the value. So I can read this minus 3.5 as 3.50. So you can see here, so this is 0. So minus 3.5, so 0. So this is the value, that is 0.00023 is the value of, or I can say that 0.00323, 0.00023 is the area under the curve for the value of 3.5. Say now I'll go to the next slide where I'll take the value minus 2. Say here it is minus 2. Say if I get the ZI value, so as 2.1, say it is minus 2 here, minus 2.1. So after the 0, sorry, minus 2.01, say assume that there is a 1 here. So if there is a 1, so I can take, see here, in the same line, I should take till now when 1 comes, see here. So this is the value. So this value is 0.0222. So this value is the area under this curve, is this value. So this value is for minus 2.01. You can see here, you need to add this 0.01. When you add 0.01 to this 2, it will become 2.01. So like that, it will come till 0 here. So then when you go to the next slide, I can show you for the 0. So x, since zi is equals to 0, for 0, okay, it's 0, you can see here 0.5359. So if it is 0.01, so if I add 0.09, so it is 0.19. So for 0.19, its value will be 0.5398. So like that, I'll go for another value. See, this is 0.5 here, 0.5. I'll add 0.07 for this. If I add 0.07 to the 0.5, so I'll get 0.57. So for the value of 0.57, the area under the curve is 0.6985. Like that, so this area will just, increases. You can see that tabular column, so it will be always increasing. It will be always increasing. See now you can see here. So this table starts from the Z value plus 1.5 and it will end at 3.5. So we have to read these tables like this. So you can understand this one by means of a problem. I'll take a problem here. So what exactly this problem says? So the time taken to complete a particular job is normally distributed. Whatever the time taken by the job, it is, normally distributed like this. So it is normally distributed with the mean is 40 mm. See here, 40 minute mean is equals to 40 millimeters, and the standard deviation of 8 millimeters, 8 minutes. You can see here the standard deviation is 8 minutes. So mean is 40 minutes, standard deviation is 8 minutes. So 25 jobs are performed. Uh, all the job that is performed, so they are, 25 jobs. They are all, normally distributed. So like this. So then he has asked you find out how many jobs are expected to take more than 48 minutes. See here, the mean is 40 minutes. So he is telling how many jobs are expected to take more than 48 minutes. Say this is the 48-minute line. So here I called this 48-minute line as Z3. You can see here it is Z3. So then the second is asking how many jobs are expected to be completed within 35 minutes. See here, this line is indicates 35 minutes line. So here I have called this line area up to Z2. So this area. So this area, so I have called this one as Z2. Then the third one, what is the expected total number of the jobs that can complete between 20 and 50. See here, 20, I have drawn a 20 line. I have called that one as Z1. And Z4, see here, 50 millimeter line. So this is the 50 minutes line I have drawn. I have called it is the Z4. So like that, Z1 is 20 minutes. Z2, it is 35 minutes. Z3 is 48 minutes. Z4 is 50 minutes. So now we can calculate it like that. So now I'll solve. So this problem here. So you can see here. So from the figure above, we can find out Z1. So Z1 is equals to X1 minus X bar by the standard deviation. So I'll go to the, see here, Z1. So Z1 is here. So Z1 is here. So this Z1. So for that, so Z1 is equals to X1. X1 is 20. X1 is 20. And standard, the mean is equals to 20 minus 40. Okay, Z1. So Z1 is equals to Xi. Xi is 20 minus mean. Mean is how much? 40 divided by standard deviation, that is 8. So you can see here. So Z1 is equals to X1 minus X bar by standard deviation. X1 is 40 and X bar is 40. X1 is 20, X bar is 40, standard deviation is 8. So now I am getting Z1 is equals to minus 2.5. So once if you get the Z1 is equals to 2.5, so you have to find out the area up to Z1 from the table. You can see here, I'll go to the table once again. So for the value of Z is equals to minus 2.5, you can see here, minus 2.5, see here, minus 2.5 from the table, minus 2, minus 2.5. So minus 2.5. So for the minus 2.5, so you can get the value of the area under the curve is, you can see 0.0062. So this is the area. So we will get this area. So from the table, so for the value of Zi is equals to, you can see here, for the value of Zi, that is minus 2.5. So the area under the table, area up to Z1, we can get it, see here, 0.006. So now I'll go to the Z2. Z2 is X2 minus X bar by the standard deviation. Once again, Z2, I'll go to the curve. So Z2, you can see here, this is Z2. So Z2 is how much? 30 to 35. 35 minus 40 divided by the standard deviation. So 35 minus 40 divided by the standard deviation. You can see here, 35 minus 40 divided by standard deviation. So we will get Z2 is equals to minus 0.625. So minus 0.625, you can see it from the table, minus value 0. Minus value 0.6. See here, 0.6, you can see here, 6. 2, next is 2. I can go for directly the value of 2, 6, 2 or 6, 3. See here, 6, 2 or 6, 3. You can go for 0.2643, or you can go for 0.2656. So you can see in the problem. So 0.6259. So area up to Z2 is equals to, so this much area. So then similarly I have to find out Z3. You can see here Z3. So Z3 is equals to, you can go to the table here. So the chart here. So Z3 is this. So now Z3 is equals to what? Xi. This value, it is how much? 48 minus 40 divided by standard deviation. So when you do that for the Z3, a 48 minus 40, it should be 40. It is not 140, it is 40. So 48 minus 40 by 8. So we'll get a Z3 is equals to, here it is 1. Then I will see what is the value of Z is equals to 1. What is the value of Z is equals to 1? See here. So for Z is equals to 1, the value of the area under this curve, you have to take for 0. So it is 0.8621. 0.8621 is the area. So you can see that 0.82, what is that? 0.8621. We'll see that 0.8621. See here, 0.8621 approximately you will get for the Z3. So then Z4, Z4 is equal to what? X4 minus X5 by standard deviation. Now you go to the chart. So X4 x4 is 50. 50 minus 40 divided by 8. So when you do that calculations, you will get z4 is equals to plus 1.25. So from the table again up to z2, the area we will get 0.94 98944. So then we can calculate. See here, the number of the jobs expected to take more than 48 minutes. So that is what does it means? So the the jobs that they are expected to take more than 48 minutes. So it means that from the curve you can see more than 48 minutes. So the area beyond, I can say Z3. See, area up to Z3 is the time taken by the jobs to complete, that is 48 minutes. So area beyond this, so this area will be equals to area under the whole curve. Area under the whole curve, okay, area under the whole curve is what? 1. So this area, so we can find out this area. So this area will be equals to area under the curve, which is nothing but 1 minus area up to Z3. So when you do that, area under the curve, that is 1, and the area up to Z3. So it is equals to this much. If I multiply this one by 100, I'll get 15.8%. Now there are 25 jobs. You can see here there are 25 jobs. If I multiply this 25 with the area, whatever the area, I will get 0.157. So then the number of the jobs that will take more than 48 minutes will be 3.967. I can say that it is 4. So now the jobs that are expected to complete within 35 minutes. So within 35 minutes. So 35 minutes is here. So within 35 minutes means, so this is area. I can say that area up to Z2. If I find the area up to Z2 from the table, so this area will give you the number of the job that will take time less than 35 minutes. So when you go to that problem there, you can see here, so the jobs are expected to be completed within 35 minutes. So that is nothing but the area up to Z2 from the table. Already we got that is equals to 0.2659. If I multiply that 0.2659 with the 25, so approximately 6.647 jobs. So we can say that, say it is 7 jobs, they will be completing. So 7 jobs will take the time to complete. I mean, it will complete within 35 minutes. So then what is the expected total number of the jobs that can be completed within 20 to 40 minutes? You can see that. So you can see in the graph. So 20 to 40 minutes, see here. So this is the area. So this is the 20 and this is 50. So it means that area will start, you can see the cursor here. So the area under this curve, see area under this curve like this. So this much. So this area is the, it will give the number of the objects, the jobs taking the time between 20 minutes and 50 minutes. So that's what, when you go to the problem, see there. So what are the jobs that will be completed? I can say that the area up to the time taken, I mean the area up to 50 minutes, and minus if I do area up to 20 minutes, so I'll get that times. You can see here. You can see here. So area up to 50 minutes, it is 0.8944, and area up to 20 minutes, it is 0.0062. When you subtract, so it is 0.8882. So the percentage of the area between 50 and 20 minutes is 82.82. If I multiply this 82, that is 0.8882 by 25, I'll get 22 jobs. So it means that the 22 jobs will be completed in between the time, or the 22 jobs will take the time in between 20 and 50 minutes. That's how we can calculate the the area under the curve. So now you can see the next table. So here you can see that there is in this table, it is having the number of the observations in the subgroups, or I can say that small, it is small n is the sample size. Small n is the sample size. For the small n, so there is the value of R, capital R you can get the sigma also. So this value, sigma values, so it will be considered for the X bar sigma chart to go for, if you want to draw the X bar sigma chart, you can take this value. So it is the sigma. And if you want to construct the X bar R chart, so R value will be here you can take. And these values, the value of R and the value of the sigma, which is corresponding to the sample size, that is small n. So now, so next, the table C. What does the table C indicates? So when you take the table C, so here the table C indicates. You can see here I have shown it by means this only. I'll take only these values: small n, A2, D3, D4. See here I have written the same thing here. So small n. So it is starts from 2. I have taken 2, 3, 4, 5. And the A2 value for that is 1.88, 1.02, 0.73, and 0.58. D3, you can see, so D3 values will, all the D3 values will be 0. So 0. And D4, so D4 is what? So D4 is 3.27, 2.57, 2.28, 2.11. So these are the values. So where exactly we are using this value? When you come to A2, so A2 is the value. So we are using it in the formula, that is the upper control limit for the X bar chart. When you take the X bar chart, the upper control limit of the X bar chart will be given by means of a formula X double bar plus A2 into R bar. So where A2 we can consider, we can take this A2 value from the table. So A2 value we can take it from the table corresponding to the sample size here. So it is corresponding to the sample size. Sample, it is corresponding to the sample size. So corresponding to the sample size here. So sample size 2, 3, 4, like that. So it is corresponding to the that sample size. Uh, Azhar, so it is corresponding to the sample size. So we can take, see now we can see the upper control limit for the X bar chart. So the lower control limit for the X bar chart. The lower control limit for the X bar chart is what? It is X double bar minus A2 into R bar. Then when you go to the upper control limit for the R chart, it is the upper control limit for the R chart can be found out by means of the formula D4 into R bar. And the lower control limit for the R chart can be found out by means of the formula D3 into R. So these value D4 and D3, you can see here D3 and D4. So these values, they are corresponding to the sample size. So these are the sample size. So these values D3 and D4 and A3, A2 is corresponding to these values, and we have to take these values from the table and we have to calculate. We have to calculate the upper control limit and the lower control limit. So similarly here also I have done, uh, I have shown. So here it is B3. So that is nothing but upper control limit for the sigma chart. We are using B4 into R bar. It is the sigma chart. It should be sigma. It is the sigma. You should get a sigma here. So that values, so B3 here, B3 and B4. So we will take from this table. You can see here. So this is the table. So with which we can take the value from value for B3 and B4. So by substituting these values in the control limits, we will get the lower control limit and the upper control limit. Now you can see the G table. So this is the G table. We are using this G table for drawing the OC curves. So you can draw OC curve by taking these the values from this table. So here it is indicates NP dash. The vertical line indicates the NP dash value, and here horizontal line says it is the acceptance sampling number. It will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. So these values indicate the acceptance number, and this values indicates the product of NP dash. So with respect to the product of NP dash and the C, we will get the values here. So they are the probability of the acceptance. So we have to select this value and we can draw the graphs. So this is also a G table. So all so these G tables are used in the construction of the OC curve. So so thank you. Here I have completed the